welcome everybody to our quickly rescheduled live with Tamara. If you were with us before, thank you for coming back. We didn't have technical problems. The platform we used to restream had an outage for 2 hours. Kind of caught us in the middle of our stuff, but we are back, and Tamara was lovely to be able to pivot and come back on. Yeah. I know a bunch of you were talking to her in her comments before, so all good. We have some eyes watching us, so if you're watching us live, say hi. We appreciate it. We appreciate you pivoting with us, and it may take people a little longer to find it, but they will find us. If not, they can watch the replay. So thank you so much, Tamara, for joining us. We've done this so many times. A really quick 2-second who our sponsors are, Tracy. That goes to you.
All right. So we have KB Riley, also known as Karen Burniston and Company. And again, basically, you are looking for a pop-up card of any sort. And a pop-up card that we can also add in our albums. You wait, I'm going to do this, everybody. So they're great. Then our creative sponsors are Whimsy Stamps. Very cute, adorable. I shouldn't say adorable, but sometimes funny stamps. And then Zebra Pens Canada, who's, if you want to learn how to write or to, you want the nice pens, basically of all sorts, they're great and great quality too. So there.
Lynn found us. So we have somebody who found us. The rest will find us. That's me typing that one. Say hi. Yeah. So, and I probably will go cycle back and see what some of the other questions were, because I can look at that once we get started. So welcome, Tamara. How do we say your first name?
Tamar.
My name is, it's pronounced Tamar.
Tamar.
Yeah, and it means palm tree in Hebrew, or date. It's both the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, welcome. Palm tree. And appropriate for where you live. So where are you in the world?
Yes, I'm originally from Israel. Was born and raised over there. And then we immigrated here, my goodness, at 1983. But I've been back a couple of times. And the final time that I made my final home here was 2003. So I've been here ever since.
And which part of Florida are you in?
I'm in Delray Beach, Florida. And it's Palm Beach County, a little bit south of Palm Beach, and it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful here. It's a nice hip town, young considering it's Florida. Yes. And it's very artsy. There's a huge artistic community here, downtown Delray. There are lots of museums and galleries and a lot of art classes happening here. So it's beautiful. If you're an artist, you can do something every weekend. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. Couldn't find you, but you did find us. So there you go. Thank you guys for finding us.
Just want to say, speaking of artsy, because you're talking about how the town's artsy, I was just noticing your blouse, the glasses, like you've got the colors, and then even what's holding your hair matching behind you.
I'm going on a cruise in about a month and a half. So I was trying on a new dress I bought for the cruise.
Nice.
Oh, there.
Fit my sexy figure.
No, sorry, everybody. She's obviously shy, okay?
You can see me coming in this, I tell you.
That's beautiful, though. The colors are gorgeous.
Yeah. It's called Natural Life. It's boho style clothing, and it's fantastic. Beautiful. Made in the USA. Yoo-hoo.
So happy to finally find this. Thank you for finding us live. We're sorry for the tech problems we had today. Just the way the day is going to go. The rest is all fine, fingers crossed.
Yes.
Beyond our abilities, it just kind of went techie weird. Are you a card maker, a scrapbooker, a mixed media person? How would you kind of categorize yourself?
I'm all of the above. You know how people usually, you start with maybe making cards, or you start with scrapbooking, and then you slowly dab into mixed media, and you slowly do this and this and that. I'm just the opposite. I started in art. I'm an artist, and I was doing fine art and graphic design, and went downhill ever since. So now I'm doing everything. I'm really, really enjoy scrapbooking, doing album making, card making, and mixed media art. Instead of a project taking me 3 months to do, which it used to be when I did fine art. Now I sit down and finish one in an hour or two.
Oh,
What
So
type of
that's
fine art did you do?
huge plus for me. I love doing that. And I'm trying to, give instructions and teach a little bit and record with some videos. And
Excellent. What type of fine art did you do?
uh, I did mostly, it's very similar to graphic, very geometrical.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the style itself is called geometric abstract or abstraction, geometric abstraction.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, a few years ago, I started going through multidimensional. Instead of it being two-dimensional, I started bringing it out.
Hmm.
And
hey,
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of paint, maybe I can just use paper.
And that opened up the world behind you. Look at all that paper you now have.
My God, talk about a paper addiction that I have.
well, I understand. Many of us understand.
I
You
kind of
know,
like, I've always been someone who likes three-dimensional art. Like, I don't hang pictures on my wall. I'd rather hang a structure on my wall. I've always preferred the
yeah.
three-dimensional size of art. So,
One of my favorite artists is Jacob Agam, Agam, and he makes kinetic art. It's not only multidimensional, but it moves.
oh, neat.
And
Hmm.
it's been my favorite artist since I was in high school. So
That makes sense. So we have someone thanking you for your tutorial. So why don't you share what your tutorial was? Because it was a very cool one. And you want to
uh,
walk through it a little bit?
sure. Well, my tutorial was a very ambitious 3-hour project to do in a half-hour video. So I created a mini album that anybody can make because I had the newcomers in mind, and also if you are a seasoned um, maker and you know how to make album, it's a nice project to make really fast. So the idea behind this little album was to do one simple page but repeat it 6 times.
Okay.
And also that you don't really need a chipboard or anything for the cover. It wraps it around really nicely. So that was the album. And you can use any paper that you want. It doesn't have to be the paper that I used. So I did another one this morning because I just needed a refresher if anybody asked questions. So that's the second one that I did. And it's
Wow.
exactly the same album, exactly the same thing, just a different collection altogether. I just didn't put the pictures in it. And it took 2.5 hours, I think, for this one. So it's a lot of fun.
We'll be
That's what
doing
I
that project just so you know, and I'm going to see about the 2, 3 hours because I know how long an album like this can take, right? So I'm curious. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to be doing it. So,
usually when I make an album like this, when I design something like this, a lot of the time goes into the planning. Should I do this? Should I do that? And where to put this? Should I? This is simple. It's one page and you repeat it. The cutting is simple. You just cut it once and that's it. You know.
I will be
So,
doing it for sure. I know I will.
and I like that there's no waste. There's like zero waste.
How many
Hey,
pieces
wow.
of, is it 12 by 12 or in it?
So this project uses about 8 or 9 sheets of the 8.5 by 11, which
Okay.
is the base. And then it uses 3 sheets of 12 by 12 that are solid color and coordinating colors, and 5 sheets of pattern paper. And I like to use the double-sided because then you get 10 different patterns. And 1 sheet of cutouts, which are images. So a lot of collections will give you 3x4 cutouts or images that you can cut out and use. So if you have a sheet that has those cutouts, then it's one. If you don't, then go find. If it's not necessary. This is really for the embellished part. You can always replace it with your own photos if you're doing scrapbooking.
Based on those two albums, I think you like Minte, right?
I love Minte.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, because I know those. I love them too. And I'm like, I recognize both those patterns, those sets of paper.
But I also have a lot of Minte in my shop that I need to sell.
Hmm.
And we have I love the zero waste from Susan, and the 2.5 hours equals 2.5 months for her. So there you go.
Maybe it'll cut down to 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe.
Maybe. Do you
Try
guys
it,
have any
Susan.
questions that you want to ask on the album? Because I know you had some questions before when we were going on. So do you
Yeah.
have
So
any
anybody, you can ask me questions about card making, albums, mixed media, all of the above. I'm happy to answer. The hardest part for me is the paper and decorating. Love that you did the base white. I live in Trinidad, and that is really convenient and cost effective. Yeah, I do. This one I did in black. The new one I did this morning had black. I use three main colors for my base cardstock: white and black and craft color. But with the white, there are two different whites. There's stark white and natural white. So it really depends on what kind of paper I'm using. But yeah, I love white. And one of the biggest thing about white is if you're using cardstock or pattern paper that has white background or white core, you don't have to cover those edges, the cores. You know how when
That makes sense.
when you cut paper, you see the core? I don't like that if I'm using something else. So I always try to cover it. But
Hmm.
with white, you don't have to. So it's faster.
That makes sense. When you do because when you showed me like the spine, okay. This again, I'm just, coming up with ideas and that. Have you ever covered like some of the paper with the larger washi tape,
I
like the
don't
49 market stuff and that? No.
Honestly, I don't use washi tape at all.
Eh. So they're
I
really
don't know
nice on the
why.
spine of an album.
Yeah, it's a great product. I have a few. I buy them. I don't use them. I don't know.
time to get them
This
out?
is
There you
okay.
go.
We just like to
I-
challenge each other when we do these Q&As.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, it's
What was
neat.
the name of the artist you mentioned before?
Jacob Agam, Agam.
There you go. And I am looking at some of the questions that we had before when we weren't live, which is, can the instructions be adapted to make a smaller mini album?
Can what? I'm sorry.
Can the instructions be adapted to make a smaller mini album?
Absolutely, you can. Except this is rather small already. This is 4.5 by 6.5. The size I made this 4.5 by 6.5 to fit 4 by 6 paper cutouts. If I do 4 by 6, then I can cut the 12 by 12 sheets, each one to 6 pieces. So that was my logic to preserve paper. I do have smaller albums, but you really have to have miniature photos in there. This one is really good for the 2 by 3s. You know how you have like 2 by 3 standard size photos?
Yep.
I bought myself one of those instant cameras, that shoot out the 2 by.
Yes.
Those are good. They have places. I have a question. I'm not sure the context of it, but is it better to use brushes or a palette knife or fingers?
Oh, that was the question. She asked about using buttercream, but not buttercream.
Bow bunny.
Medium when you do stencils.
Okay.
They call it butter, but it's not really butter. What it is really is just medium, or how do you call it? Modeling paste. And modeling paste is thick acrylic, thick that it dries quickly, and you use it on stencils, and then the stencil shape becomes raised. So it's always good to use a palette knife. If you don't have a palette knife, anything that has a flat edge, and very lightly go over it. If you use a palette knife, just scrape it off easy, because it'll leave you the surface smooth and it's not going to go into the grooves.
Okay.
So always use a straight edge palette knife.
There's a question of, have you done a flip through that album?
No, because this is just for this summit. So if you don't attend the summit, you're not going to get any flip through.
Yeah, you have to watch the summit, or if you're VIP, you have it. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice.
Yes.
If you're a VIP, you have it for a year or longer. We just promise a year, because lifetime is a very weird concept.
Right.
So you do have it for a year or longer. If not, you got to watch it today. It's available for 24 hours until tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So.
Correct. But in the downloadable sheet for the VIP, you also have pictures of all the pages.
Yes.
So everything is there.
Tracy and Heather,
Is this an album sorry, Heather, is this an album that you designed yourself? Like you know, with all the measurements and everything, it's not like something that you learned somewhere. You just went, I'm going to design something, right?
I design all my albums. I have never copied somebody else's.
Okay.
All my albums are my own design. That's the one part I really love. And some of them get really intricate.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know. Because I love to make chipboard albums and small albums like this. So yeah.
Well, they make great gifts, which I think is, it is the season to create gifts.
I made one for my sister that I absolutely loved. I made it about 2 weeks ago. Let me see if I can show you a picture of it here. But sometimes you make something and you love it so much, and you're like, why did I just put the pictures there for her? Why did
So she meant to flip through on this video, like a quick flip through on the video, was she was asking.
Flip through on the video
today, just now, like
right
showing
now.
you right now.
Oh yeah, now I can do it. Sure.
She meant to flip through
But
that.
Yeah, I have to sift through all of my grandson's pictures too.
Lisa, thank you for attending. Lisa was thanking Tracy and Heather, and thank you both and all the presenters. This was so much fun, and I learned a lot. So thank you.
You see?
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's very nice. Yes.
And I love it. I love it.
Wow.
Do you ever remake the designs you do, or do you just make them once and that's it?
I remake them, because a lot of times I will post it. I had an email yesterday. Somebody saw me, and I think maybe in this summit, and she went into my YouTube and she saw an album that I made like 4 years ago, and she asked me if I can make it for her. And I happen to keep, the collections here. So I said, yeah, I'll make it for you. So this is my cover. As you can see, I do a lot of flowers. I love flowers. And I put something a little bit on the back, on the inside cover. And then the pages, that's my grandson, Nathan.
Cute.
And all the pages are basically the same. And then this little thing comes out. So I always have something element here that comes out, and on the back you can just write. I have a little piece of schmutz here. Sorry. You can write what it's about or the date. I was talking to my daughter. She's like, I've never taken so many pictures in my life. I'm not going to remember the dates. And I said, well, look what I did in your album when you were little. I wrote the date in the back.
Right. Yes, that does matter too.
Yeah.
So you see, all of the pages are basically the same. You flip to the right, you flip to the left. And I'll try to go a little faster.
But they're beautiful because they don't look the same. I mean, they're the same because you make the same. But for somebody getting that, they're not going to think, oh, these pages are all the same.
Right.
No, you're right, Heather. Like yeah, they won't at all think that. Because they'll be like, what do you mean you made this? And then they'll be looking at the pictures and like, what, and yeah, they'll be crying.
Yeah.
Nobody sees it being the same.
No,
So
no.
if anybody wants this paper, I have it. You can have it.
And if
I
it helps you, it is a beautiful line. I have made a chipboard album with that line too. So it's beautiful, everybody.
Let's it's my daughter.
Oh, there you go.
Aw.
She'll kill me for showing her picture to everybody. This
There's
crazy grandmother, I don't know who she was, but
How old is your grandson now?
he's 5 months. God bless. He's 5 months old, and he wears 12 months already. He's a man.
Those
with
are
a
beautiful.
cat.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
that's
a
a
beautiful album.
beautiful
Nobody
shot,
would
eh?
know that it only took you this much time or that. So, okay, I will send you my address. Somebody's saying, how much does an album like that cost you to make?
So just the cost of the paper, really. So to get a set of 6 papers, it's about between $11 and $14. 3 sheets of 12 by 12 is another $3, and the glue.
Oh, that was going to be my question. What do you like to adhere to because when they're on the outside pages like that, we need a strong glue or score tape or something. What do you like to use?
Only one glue I use, and that's
Here.
the art glitter glue.
Okay.
Done, tested, works fantastic. None of the barely art glue for me. That all the hype over it. Tried it. Mm-mm. Or there are other good glues there. That's for the wet glue, and for the double side tape, I use score tape.
Yep.
You
Totally
know,
understand.
Lisa said when she saw the page, I thought I could use it as a pen pal mini swap book.
yeah, that's fun, and it's not that heavy either. It's pretty good. So I have a few. If you go to my YouTube, if you flip through, I have some suggestions for quick and easy albums there. Not many, but I have a few more. They
She
make
does
great.
flip through albums and flip through videos. Huh?
Mhm.
How would you keep it safe? In a box? I guess that's for if you're mailing it. How would you keep it safe?
You just wrap it with some bubble wrap and put a lot of labels. Do not fold. But my albums usually arrive in good conditions. It's paper. So you just have to make sure it doesn't get knocked out and the corners are not going to get crushed.
Yeah, and just keep it. I would just say, like you said, bubble wrap. Keep it so it's snug in that box, so it doesn't move around and things like that. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, because I make a lot and I sell them and I send them out to people, especially before Christmas. I get a lot of those orders. So I have never had something that arrived in bad condition yet. Just make sure that the box is big enough.
Yes, that's the important part, box and secure.
Right.
do you ever make the box to put the album in?
I did a few times. I have want to see one?
Sure.
Now, of course, if you're shipping that, though, put it in a different box, everybody. But again, because I know, I know.
Well, while she's looking, just to take a look at Tanya's free gift, which is a Little House mixed media patchwork collage tutorial. Oh, that's a mouthful. And she also has something in the VIP Fun Bundle, so free tutorials and 10% off coupons on supplies. So if you like some of that paper you saw, take advantage of her 10% coupon now. So check out if you're a VIP, what is in the VIP package. If you're not a VIP, the price goes up tomorrow. So if you haven't grabbed your VIP package now, grab it. There are a lot of good things. Some of the gift, if you are a VIP, some of the content expires, and we will send an email out tomorrow saying what's available and what's not. But take a look at it. Look what's in there and sign up to things.
This is just another album that I made and the same principle. That's really fast and easy and the same thing. Just wanted to show you another option. But it has 3 signatures and really quick.
Very nice.
But Yeah, and then there's no chipboard. But this is something, okay, let me bring it down a little bit. You can see, okay?
Yes.
So that's the box.
Very
Beautiful.
nice. Eh?
That's the box. And this is graphic 45 little legs. And this, I think, is Prima
Mhm.
lock. And this is Zuri mold, one of their first ones that they came up with.
Okay.
And it opens up. And this is with Stamperia's Princess Collection.
Wow. Eh?
That's cute.
Yeah, another small little album, but it's a little more intricate, and it has little buckles and things close and open and flip and flap and all sorts of things.
Mhm.
And it's amazing to think that's all made of paper.
Right? I love it. So yeah, I'm not going to open over everything, but I have a lot of little things here. And
Yeah,
it's
it's very, very nice.
yeah, I added like
Yes.
lace and
Has a very Victorian look.
yeah, I did some work for Stamperia, so I had to use their paper for a while, and they're beautiful paper. Another one of my favorites. I love
They
Stamperia.
are beautiful.
I like
Very
40
nice. Cute.
Market, Graphic 45. Um, what else? Ciao Bella. Oh, I love Ciao Bella paper.
Okay.
Lots of
What about,
comments.
have you ever looked at 3/4?
3/4, I looked into getting the Australian ones.
Yes. Yeah.
I wanted to bring them to my store. Yeah, it was just too difficult with bringing things from Australia to cost. I was like, my customers would never pay this much for.
Okay. Okay. No, I was just because I'm seeing your style, so I'm thinking, what else would you like?
Beautiful,
And
gorgeous, gorgeous. A couple of girls with some graphic background decided to do some
Same,
scrapbooking
Susan. I was
paper.
wondering what that was. Susan wrote, I almost won. She means one, WONE, not WO.
okay.
One. She almost
Yeah.
won those G4 Metal Fleet last night, but I passed on them and won a stamp instead. One as in being one, not the other one. She wants the
Yeah.
other one.
She won.
The WON one.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
But somebody was saying they like stamp. I don't know. You guys know what this is because I don't know these things.
Stamperia. Love me some Stamperia.
But haven't found any here in a long time.
In Canada?
I'm not sure where Susan wrote she hadn't found any here in a long time, so I'm not sure what she means by.
I
always say, well, first of all, some stores that can carry it. Otherwise, if there's a local store you deal with, ask them. They can get. I know Stamperia is easy enough to get.
It is easy
So,
enough to get, but
yeah,
always
it is.
when in doubt, when you're in doubt and you're looking for something in particular, if you don't have a store or anybody that you can go to, call the company or send them an email. They'll tell you who they sell to and where you can go.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
We all need to stop typing quickly, Susan. That's a problem we all have, which is like typos or when the phone types things for us and it's like, no, that's not what I meant to say. It's not.
It's so cute.
Do you ever use digital collections? Those are sometimes best value for me and I can print on a nice paper as I need it.
I've been asked the questions a lot, and I even went ahead and invested in a good printer that's supposed to print good paper.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's something that I design myself and print, I don't usually use printed paper. And the reason is that for me, I like good quality paper.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to print for it to come out good, it has to be good quality paper. So I'm paying twice. I'm paying once for the paper and once for the ink. And there are so many good things out there already. So I really don't.
But that's a good perspective too, right? I mean, for some people, printing's easier depending what they're using, and for
Right.
you, right? For a cost of looking at the cost, if you're already paying for the paper, you might as well pay it already in the style that you like.
Well, it depends on what it is you do. If you're a scrapbooker and you're making a scrapbook page, a digital scrapbooking page, and then you just want to print the page and you're printing on regular paper, or it has to be light, because I know scrapbookers, their papers have to be light because otherwise their books are going to be weighing a ton. So that's different.
Mhm. So I have no idea what this means, but hopefully you do. Do you still have the ATC you won with?
No, I don't. I sold it.
What is ATC, by the way?
ATC is artist trading cards.
Okay.
You know, before photographs started, before we could take a photograph, the aristocrats were looking for brides. So the bride's parents used to hire an artist, and they would take they would draw their pictures, and those pictures would be traveling, you know, in gentlemen's club and eligible men, and they would trade. They would trade those cards where, you know, there were beautiful women on there, and that's how it started. So artist trading cards started from there. It's a 2.5 by 3.5 size card, and you make a little work of art on it, a little painting or a collage or whatever it is you want to do, and you trade it with other people.
Okay. And what did you win?
My goodness, with the ATC, I didn't win much. I won a ribbon, and about, I think, was $500 prize, but it was very prestigious. It was in a gallery up north somewhere in Boston, I think, and there were 5,000 participants.
Congratulations.
So it was very nice. It was many years ago. But the best one was I participated in a art show gallery. I did a few gallery shows, but I did one that I won a very special recognition for a very unique art.
Mm-hmm.
So that one I really cherished the most. I won, I think, like $2,000 worth of art supplies, which was fun.
Often the artist competitions are more about the recognition than the value of the thing.
Because there's no money in art unless you're, you know, you're selling artist, and for you to be a selling artist, you have to have a broker, and you have to go into all sorts of things, and it's.
Do you have a picture of it? Somebody asked.
Yes, I do, but I don't know where it is.
It is. She does somewhere, buried somewhere.
I can show you similar ones in other colors. That I can show you, but not the exact one.
So yeah, if you can show a similar one
Sure.
in another color, go for
Okay,
it.
so just 1 second, I'll show you different.
Understand what you're talking about too. Lights, is getting dark out.
I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, because if you won like, it sounds like an event like that, that's not a small event. I want to see what she does. So
Whoops. I would love to see it. I'd rather buy a pack of patterned paper. My printer used too much ink. Any recommendations on a good printer that is economical with ink? Tracy.
sorry. Every printer you buy, all they want is for you to buy ink afterwards. Every printer. The printers are sold cheap, so you can buy ink, and that's where they make their money. That's a fact.
There are hacks out there to avoid that, but you have to look at it.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Oh, very, very nice, and very, very glossy. Obviously, what's it covered with? Is it glossy
It's
accents, or?
it's covered in resin.
Resin.
Okay, resin. Okay.
So it's hard.
Yes.
It's a
Very
paper
different.
collage. Here's a simple one. That's a very simple one.
Beautiful.
Doesn't look simple, eh?
Uh-oh.
Did we lose her?
She disconnected herself, I think. We'll see if she comes back. Hopefully she does. I don't know. We're having a tech day tomorrow. We're having a tech day. Are those resin? Yes, they are resin. Hopefully she can come back. I think she might have hit her keyboard with what she had, so I don't know if she disconnected herself.
I'm going to send her a little message, and
The way she was putting the box, maybe she hit something and disconnected something.
I don't know.
We'll wait for her to come back, hopefully. Hopefully she'll come back in. We're having this day with Tamara, so... Or her internet went down. We're still here. You guys are still there, so it's not us this time. I have a big laser printer, so it's economic. I use it for working as well, so it may not be as fancy. May not be as fancy.
Rico. Wow, I haven't heard Rico in a long time. Sorry.
Here, she's back. I just got to find her
Okay,
again.
good.
She's back.
I don't know for how long I was talking to myself, but I was having a very good conversation.
I think the second card, and we're like, she's gone. Oh no, she's gone.
You all missed the conversation I was having with myself.
Someone else said they love to make ATCs, made 13 for Halloween countdown. I've never even heard of them before. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, very, very good.
Yeah.
I like that.
So how long does it take you to make one of those little cards? ATCs, whatever. Yeah.
I don't sit and make one. I sit and make 20. Yeah, bright and colorful like me.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a few boxes of these. I would sit in the session and I will take my scraps, and I love cutting paper. I love playing, and I would sit here with all my little tchotchkes of paper and build them. It will be a session of 3, 4, 5 hours, and I will make 20 maybe.
Okay.
And then I put them in the drawer and I pour resin on. All right.
Very cool.
So wait.
Another idea, Tracy. They match your dress. They do match your dress.
Oh, you can totally, tell her style, but it's just, yeah, I like it. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow, eh?
Something that's 3D. You see how it's 3-dimensional?
Mm-hmm.
I just happen to have it here because it's a little loose. I have to fix it.
Okay. Very, very different.
Are they 2 by 5, 2 by 2 inches, 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches?
2.5 by 3.5.
Okay. Yes, they are, Susan.
Yeah, and if you want, you can sell them on eBay, and on eBay they call ACEO, ACEO.
So people buy them to keep them. It's just like hockey trading cards, but it's art trading cards.
You're not supposed to,
but they do.
But people do it, yeah.
Very
and it's a good way to get discovered.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a really good way. I have a nice little collection of ACEOs that I bought from artists that I like. But I buy the original work of art. You know, some people like art and you can't afford to pay $300, $400, $3,000 for.
Yeah.
So you buy small ones.
It's great. It makes sense though too. It takes up less room. You can do things with them. You can do a lot of things with them. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I have. I love my YouTube channel.
Her link is on her profile. So if you go to today's presentation, her YouTube link, her Facebook link, and her website are underneath her image. If you like it's like tiny works of art. Yeah, it's kind of cool to have these little things. It's something new I hadn't seen before. Tracy, had you?
No, not those cards. No.
But small works of art is a very up and coming thing in the art world. It didn't used to be, but now a lot of galleries will do a show for it's called small works of art. So it's, if you're creative, and don't be afraid if don't say I'm not good enough, but go to your local art guild or art organization, and every town will have one. And they have local, and just see if you can participate in one. And you don't have to make big works of art, just a small one. And
learn new things.
It's fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to participate in those.
We're having a really bright orange sunset. I can't see the sunset, but it's really orange outside right now. So I'm like,
right, yeah.
It is like, I don't know what's going on outside. We just had some rain, but the sun must be
showing up.
And everything, everything is super orange right now. I've never seen it this kind of orangey. I'm like, okay. Tracy sees this. I'm facing the wrong direction to see the sun. So
yeah,
Orange is a color of what?
Don't know.
Orange.
The sun.
Florida?
Orange is a color of happy.
No, there you go. Okay, thank you. I'm like, Florida? I don't know, like orange, but
It's a good guess, Heather.
Orange is a color of happy. It's one of my favorite colors, so it's showing up for me.
it is. Like, it's just like really dark orange. We have lights on. It's kind of neat.
Sorry.
So we've got distracted by the light outside. They're perfect for putting in a tiny house. Yes, Susan. I wish they had it here, but they don't. So
you guys should download the freebie I gave you with the tiny houses. You said a tiny house, but
yeah, the freebies in there, the little houses mini collage. Oh, that's it. Oh, cute.
Aren't they cute?
They're very cute.
Very, very nice.
So that's the freebie that you have. So don't forget to download your freebies. Jealous, it's gray and miserable here. It was gray and miserable here all day, Susan. So maybe this is coming your way.
So yeah, I remember we were talking before the summit, and you said that people would like to know more mixed media, and I was thinking, well, what can I do to give people a taste of mixed media that they can actually use it if they're making an album or making a scrapbook or making something. So I came up with this technique, which is a collage, and it's really easy and simple, but so much fun.
And it's very effective, right? They're cute. I did download them. So yeah, definitely download them and do them. And I love the people that Tracy has brought to the summit, of a lot of creators, a lot of designers and creators. And I think it's good for people to hear the designing process. So how do you come up with something like that? Like, where did that come from when you said you came up with it?
With this? I went back to when I first encountered mixed media. And my first encounter wasn't great. Because I do mix, let me back up. I do mix media, but in my own style, in geometric, and I wanted to expand and learn new things. I always learn new things. Like a summit like this, for me, I go because you never know what you're going to learn, and I always learn something. So I went into a little class, and it happened to be Tim Holtz related with stamping and things. I was so excited. But she started, and then she's like, oh, you have to use this tool and this tool. And then I'm like, before I even started my free class, I spent $250 on supplies. And I ended up not even liking it. I'm like, well, I would have done it differently. Then I took a free class, it was a $10 class from Jennifer Chamberlain. And she's a mixed media artist that does a lot of collage work, a lot of whimsy, and she's amazing, amazing artist and does things so simple, but so much fun. And I'll show you what I made the first time. I think I have it here somewhere. Yes, it's right up there. That was the first thing that I made.
That's so cute. Very, very nice.
Jennifer Chamberlain's class. I fell in
love
that. Isn't that cute?
So this
is the same technique as this.
Okay.
And I said, well, if I fell in love with it and it was so enjoyable for me, after knowing so many techniques, anybody can really probably enjoy it.
Somebody asked, what did you take to make the finish of the collage?
I don't have a finish on it.
It's just the paper.
Or does she mean the ATC collages?
She might mean the ATC, which is resin, right?
Yes, it's clear resin, 2-part clear resin.
Somebody asked, where is the video for the tiny house? There isn't a video for the tiny houses. It's part of the... Or is there? There's a tutorial for it? The video along with the free download? There's a video?
Yeah, if she goes to the free download, there is a link to the video.
Yeah, so it's either on the Meet the Speaker page or it is on the page for the for her day page.
Yes,
it's in both places. And they will go down tomorrow unless you're VIP. They may or may not stay, but there's no guarantees after the summit's over for the freebies, even for the VIPs. So make sure that you take advantage of them now. I always find mixed media is really simple. It just looks hard. We've had this discussion before. We haven't had it yet this
I
time.
knew you were going to ask.
What is mixed media? Because I think people have a real different definition of it. Like a lot of scrapbooking is mixed media by nature because you're putting like paper and ribbon and other stuff on top of it, which makes it mixed media.
So mixed media is a brand new art movement. Let me see. Like you have the things that came out. It's brand new. The basic idea of mixed media is that you use multi-mediums. You use at least two.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just use watercolor, or you don't just use acrylic, or you don't just use sculpting, or you mix at least two. So mixed media for crafting really came up with stamping and use of inks. So people started creating their own backgrounds and creating their own little artwork on the cards they were making. They didn't want to just use paper, they wanted to make their own.
Mhm.
So now if you're using ink with stamp, or you're putting spray paints on there, you're already using different mediums
Mm-hmm.
to make what it is you want. And that goes into mixed media. If you're using stencils and you put something, over a paper, then you're using a medium.
Yeah. Well, scrapbooking, most of what you do in scrapbooking is mixed media, but they don't think it is because they'll say, no, that's not mixed media. And it's like, well, it is. And that's where this conversation has been going on since we started these summits,
right?
Of what is mixed media.
As an artist, I came to paper crafting because my medium was paper.
Mm-hmm.
I use paper as my medium for my fine art, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, many fine art is you got to do it on something, right? You're doing it on canvas, or you're doing it on paper, or you're doing it on other things. So yeah, absolutely.
Right. So yeah, but if I add to my paper and I cut paper and I put it on and I use stamping, or I use ink, or I use whatever paint, pastes. There are a lot of pastes that you can use that make give it texture. Texture is a big thing in mixed media.
Mm-hmm.
Because you use shape, color, and texture for your art.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one dimension.
Yeah. And I do think what Chrissy says is that a lot of people are mixed media artists, but they don't really know it because they think it's something else, right? They have like a picture of what it is. I know sometimes you think mixed media is something with a resin cover on it and some, mix things visually as opposed to other things. So
it can be you use watercolor and you take some watercolors and you damp it on the paper, and then you take a Sharpie and go like this. You created the mixed media piece of art.
There you go. I'm a mixed media artist and I didn't know it. So I've done that. I've done that. So but yeah, and that's where it kind of came from. Do you use recycle? Do you recycle
most of your
paper? A lot. I use a lot of recycled stuff. A lot. One of my favorite things to do is go to the vintage market or to the flea market where people sell tchotchkes. And I look at the little bowl with the little tiny things, and I will buy the, I just take my hand and like, okay, how much? Because you pay by the weight. And I did that the last time I did it. The guy looked and said, "You're an artist, right? Only artists buy this stuff." I will go to the thrift store and look at, like, sometimes you have like a wedding gown that somebody put there and they have beautiful lace and beautiful things, but nobody will, it sits there looking really sad. But I'll buy it. I'll make ribbons out of it. I'll make stuff. Buy bottles, interesting bottles, and decorate them. I'll buy old books. I use a lot of old books and make something. I think I have it here too, somewhere. And old books that I've done a cover on. A lot. It's fun. But the little touch is like the little jewelry, and all of a sudden you see something with a lot of glitz and diamonds and fun stuff. I stick them on my card. I should have one here. Yeah. Every time you say something like, "Oh, I have an example," but go find it, right?
That happens a lot in our lives. People get up and pull out their examples. So
here's an old book that I bought that I got at the thrift store. And I did the cover, and this will be a art journal inside. I will paint over it.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
cool idea.
I
Thank
can
you for
see that.
making me smile. Too many touches. I don't know how to say that word, but or however you spell it. She was trying.
Tchotchkes, I'm guessing.
Tchotchkes.
Tchotchkes. Oh, tchotchkes. Tchotchkes. I don't know.
How you spell it, but thrift stores are my favorite. Somebody else said so. Awesome. Well, Tamara, thank you so much for sharing all your passion with us and all your artistic stuff. It's just gorgeous.
You're welcome.
Great cover, someone said, but thank you so much for that. Really appreciate appreciate your patience with our technology issues and being
Oh, thank
flexible.
you.
Not that we could do anything about it, and everyone got to see you. So thank you so much for coming and doing this.
Oh,
And
you're
sharing.
most welcome.
That's very
Thank you so much for having me again.
We
And
appreciate
thank
it.
you to everybody who attended and who stopped by today. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. And we are back in a half an hour with Alicia from Australia. So it'll be Monday for her, and she does amazing cards and printables and things like that. She's been one of our favorites. She's been with all of our summits. So come back for Alicia, and then we're doing our wrap up at 7 p.m. And then we're going to breathe.
Are we really? Don't lie, Heather. We're not going to breathe yet.
No, we're not
Sorry.
going to breathe. We still got emails to do and stuff like
Otherwise,
that.
I have you on tape.
We get to breathe, though. We get to have a breath at some point in time. So thank you all for showing up live. We'll be back at 5:30. Now that we're back here, it'll be on the regular channel. And thank you so much, Tamar, for joining us, for showing your love of color and things like that.